market is showing you green numbers. We are bouncing back from $2.5 trillion in the market cap, and you see a little bit of green coming in, and that's actually a good sign. Not bad, right? One of the things we have to look at here is see the time when Bitcoin dominance were falling. The first one during Jan and Feb, and then from March to May. You go look at what happened in the price of different assets, especially XRP. During that Jan to Feb range, we rallied. Then again, in the next one, March to April, we continued that rally. Now, this is happening when Bitcoin dominance is dropping. So, when you are looking at the profit, who are buying, who hold, why they sell, and other stuff, you come to a conclusion, okay, there is a possibility that even this can go higher. And if that is bouncing from here, breaking to the upside, that's something rational, right? But what you need to understand is market may remain irrational longer than you can think. So first step you need to think about here is that yes, the direction of impulse is to the downside, and each side you are going down. Say first one, if you are putting that into numbers, what you can do is say the percentage of fluctuation. You take from the top to the bottom, and that's like 18% to the downside. Great. Now the next one, if you are looking at that break and the bottom, you come like around 40%. So you kind of double there. Now if you take that same number and go against this stuff, you're going towards a deep red numbers where it's kind of saying like, okay, BTC dominance is going to be dropped like these, and those are crazy numbers to say that. But if that is coming, or even half of that is coming, you're going to see something like this. The price is coming down, it's moving down. Why? The impulse is to the downside. Each time it go down, it goes even with higher momentum. So that can show you a push higher. Remember, people buy this and sell this. If you remember the history, you will always understand what happened there. You will always see a lot of criticism. You will always see this is going to fail, this is doomed to fail, blah, 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 and all stuff. But always remember, even Amazon had its time when it was 90% down, but long-term investors made money. Now you go read all this stuff and you understand one thing, and then you come back to look at the current scenario. You are like, okay, fine. History repeats. Now it can be in different assets. The factors, the parameters which you are looking at is literally happening. So when you see all of these factors, you shouldn't forget that long-term buyers who bought in there did not completely take the profits, or even if they did, those people who came in overweighed it. That's the only reason why the price did not come back down to this range. So this level of supply is absorbed by the market here as you were going high, and it still is being absorbed as the market come back down. So remember, those guys who bought in here, they took some profits here, then heavy profit taking went through as the price was going down, and a lot of people came into the market, absorbed that supply. So you're not going back down. Comparing the previous high and this low, you're still like 3.5x to the upside, which is great, right? Now, what do you have to understand here? When the market is actually showing you all these signs, like you're bouncing, slowly bouncing and all, you do have to take this into account. Even I was preparing, we were kind of near $55,000, and now you go to say BTC and you look at what the price is doing. Now real time, right? You're slowly bouncing towards 56. Now your resistance would be somewhere around 58, and if you break above that one, that is going to show you that a continuity pattern like this is going to evolve and you're going to move to the upside. So now, first of the main majority question here for all of us is like, okay, fine, we just saw like, Jan to Feb, when Bitcoin dominance was falling, you kind of had a run up in the alts. So basically you come here and see like, what's this Jan? So we kind of topped out and we were going into a correction, but by end of Jan we kind of ended that correction, and the early Feb we started rallying. So take this into account again. We were going down in Bitcoin to the downside, and you were in a reaccumulation pattern or a continuation pattern, which you can call, in between Jan 7 towards Feb. So if you look at the pattern, this is what you see, and it broke higher and you continued higher. And when it went to the upside, say you take this into account, 2nd February all the way up to 21st Feb is when that rallied to the upside. Now you come here and you go to, say, for example, if you want to take that into account, you look at XRP and you see like 26th Jan to 13th Feb was that rally. Now that is not bad. That really looks fine, right? You're looking at it and you're like, okay, fine, that really does matter. So the price is moving in that direction. So now you come here, you take this into account and then carry forward, meaning after that Bitcoin was inside a profit taking area where a lot of people were thinking we are taking profits, some others were absorbing the supply, but supply eventually overweighed the absorbing capacity of newcomers. That's why we dropped to the downside. Now you go and look at like April, May time, when Bitcoin dominance was reducing along with the Bitcoin price, you saw like this. Now we expand this one to understand the current scenario. See, 12th April to 25th April, we went to the downside. Now we come here and see like, last March towards 15th April is when we rallied to the upside. Towards 15th April is when we rallied to the upside. So by the time we started rallying, Bitcoin was going down, down, down. So if we anticipate that Bitcoin price is going to break higher here, you have two scenarios. One, the Bitcoin dominance is bouncing inside this range itself, remaining inside. So, the market can remain irrational. It may continue, but the stuff is, you literally understand this from the technical analysis that, okay, the next stuff, you're going towards 48 and mostly you're going to get rejected because you are following this pattern. Then you're coming back down. But if you are breaking from here, below that 39%, now understand we are right now 41.5. It's not like we are at 50 and I'm saying 39. We are close to that. So if we break below, that's a continuation pattern for Bitcoin dominance falling and altcoins running higher. So now you have altcoins like Dent, which shows exact similar pattern to that of XRP. What does that mean? You can ask yourself when you see a lot of potential in those assets, small cap assets, and then you have similarity with XRP in price pattern, that shows something significant. So let's dig deep. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. So guys, as we've been talking, we just saw like, yes, it does happen. And shout out to, BitBoy and Mr. XRP for highlighting this one. Yes, it has been highlighted in the SEC government website where they say Bitcoin, Ethereum and XRP that are generally accepted to be currencies. So now these are the politics which you see behind what's happening. And that's when, the internal parameters, the factors which you consider, or anyone for that matter, consider for the progress of a project. You can see that in Ripple, the company. You can see that in the Ripple net, the adoption, the expansion. And then you see the XRP ledger, where you see it's being connected to InterLedger protocol. The design is there for the interoperability layer. And at the end of the day, you see central banks coming on. Now, that's a little bit old, but still they're coming in, testing the pilot, and they say, okay, that is great. Now, recently, you see small central banks coming in, taking adoption, and then another small one, they're entering again to use this for central bank digital currency, and that's why this is important. You see a lot of criticism, even when you have an exceptional project rationally. But what happens is the price goes down, and that for a lot of guys is pain. But those who are long term, that's an opportunity because they understand the value of that particular asset. So now, if you are going deep, you also look at these like, okay, this is the long term scenario, and those who bought here most likely are not going to see that price back at 0.2, 0.3 range like these. Those who accumulated here never got back an ability to buy back here, even if the really wanted to, right? So similar stuff. Bitcoin is here. It's going to bounce now. You go here, you see this is the pattern. You had a resistance, you broke higher, you are coming back, and then you see the current pattern. So if you are again able to bounce from here, that would take you to a scenario where you're breaking above this. So you get a continuity pattern unless you're going into a distribution phase like this, which can be considered as a reaccumulation because you went back and you hit back with a new high. So as you continue to do this, say go on the weekly, monthly chart for Bitcoin, and you see like the trend is super bullish. You're still continuing to the upside. So unless you break below this stuff, it's still bullish, right? Whether you are a Bitcoin bull or not, we'll have to agree on that point. And then you see this, we've been resisted here. Now that's acting as a support, and price moves in a direction where the RSI is being pushed towards there. So most likely you're going to come in deep and you're going to bounce because history suggests that you are going to do that, right? And you see the pattern where you have been supported for a long time, and then you're coming into that range again. So again, chances are that you are going to get bounced. So now you go back into the XRP chart. See, while I was making that chart early in this morning, it was like 0.94. So now we are like 0.96. So that means, yes, we are getting supported. Yes, we are having buyers in that range. Meaning, when we say that this is a range of support, now that shouldn't be red. We'll put that green. That's support, right? Now, what you can anticipate is this can actually move. Buyers are coming in. They're pushing the price to the upside, and most likely, this is the resistance range. So you may go back up. And when you break this range, that is a continuity pattern. So if you recognize something here, you had an impulse to the upside, you consolidated inside this, and if you're bouncing here and breaking higher, that's something contrary to what you see in Bitcoin dominance. It's the opposite here, right? You're going down, consolidates, going down, consolidates, chances are higher, you're going to consolidate to the downside. And if that's what you see here, I don't know how to explain that, but that is really bullish. And those people who have accumulated into this is having a great time during that run up. Now remember, we are talking about those guys who bought at the top and went down dramatically. They had a chance to average down. Now those who are early buyers of XRP, they are still chilling, because they do understand the technology, they do understand what they are looking at, and they are accumulating this asset. Now those who have already accumulated, done their buying for this particular asset, they are just waiting to see the price go higher. Why? Because they do understand this stuff. They don't take the credit cards, the private loans, personal loans and other stuff to go into these kind of investments, because they do understand the market can be irrational for a long time. And if you are looking at the history and following the price fluctuation, you're like, fine, even if I have to wait, this is going to take me through these levels, and I'm fine. As this goes towards these resistance, the price is going to hit all those levels, and those buyers who entered here, almost all of them are completely in great profits. So look at the entire altcoins to understand what the market is doing. So you come here, you look at the altcoin market cap. Now that's a little bit zoomed out. So let's go in, and it still shows you that the opportunity is there. Now I'll actually try to take you guys through other assets as well to show you, you have this cup and handle pattern where you kind of have this. Yes, that's the cup and handle pattern where you're breaking to the upside. You come back to retest that one, and then you continue higher, right? So you had this particular pattern, and then this was your resistance. You broke higher, you came back. Now that's acting as a support. So you go in, you kind of see some assets, kind of follow this similar trend there, which for me is super bullish. Say you had similar pattern to that of the altcoin market, and the altcoin market is to do like 80, 100x in this cycle. So say 50x or more in next wave. So these are like assets where you have high risk. I agree, they are new, but the gaming side of it is actually getting attention. So if you are following a balanced approach with the risk and reward, you may still be able to include some of the risky assets, right? When you see Ray Dalio talking about risky assets, Howard Marks talking about risky assets, and they are including even crypto, that's fine. So we are in crypto, which is the riskiest asset class as far as those guys are concerned. And even, yeah, we agree that's the riskiest asset. So when you balance within this, you go into assets with high liquidity, daily buying power, mostly at least the average, and then the project, the fundamentals. Once you are aware of that, you kind of look your portfolio in a way that you're balancing it. You have a lot of different assets. You go through that. You do all of stuff which is necessary, and you understand where to take profits. Because there is a lot of misconception about Elliott wave analysis and the way we explain it and all. But always do understand there is a ton of possibility in this market. Because when you're entering into this, say, as I was discussing with my members, this is a possibility, and a lot of people have confusion here. You have the wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, in my opinion. Because I personally do consider this correction here rather a wave down. Rather, I consider like buying opportunity. So I consider impulsive wave 1 to the upside, impulsive wave 2 to the upside, and impulsive wave 3 to the upside. Why? Because the impulse is to the upside. The correction, you're not going back down, right? So that opportunity exists in a lot of different coins, and this is just an example, right? So you go in and look at all these coins, and some of them popping through the roofs. Don't go nuts. Understand what they're doing in the longer horizon, and once you are able to see, like, say for example, this asset is doing great and it still is good to buy in this market cycle, go in for it. Otherwise, don't. Now, if you want to get to those kind of stuff and you want detailed charts for all of these many different possibilities in the assets, you can definitely look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. So guys, I would say it's better to jump on early next month. Say first or second of the next month would be better. So thanks for watching, and if you support the channel, please do hit that like and subscribe button. That helps the channel a lot. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.